This is Mandy from Rusty's Needle and Twisted Threads. I know you haven't heard from me for a while. A lot of you have seen me the last several years at Applique Getaway and asked me to make some more videos. So here I am. I am gonna make your video on toilet paper embroidery for Christmas or any occasion. The design I'm gonna use today is from Hoop Mama. I got this design from her a very long time ago. I'm assuming you can probably still download it. I'm gonna try and find the link for you and link it in the video below. My supplies come from Costco for the toilet paper. Ta-da, Costco. This is really thick cutaway stabilizer. One of my tricks is if you have leftover bits you've cut out of other designs and you don't want to throw it away, but it's not quite big enough for anything, you're going to use it to slip right under your hooped piece to give you a little bit of extra stability, because you're going to want cutaway and you're going to want a lot of stability. The other thing I use is a little inexpensive piece of the wash away on top. And again, you can use the scrap left over from what you did before. It's really not going to show because you're going to use the matte kind. You're not going to use the expensive Badge Master or anything. You're just going to use the cheap wash away because you're not going to actually wash it away. I use to package it, this is a storage bag from the grocery store. Some people call it a bread bag. It's the one that comes with the twist tie at the top. But I wrap it in this and tape it over the top with clear tape, and everybody loves it. I sell them for about $15 a piece. I do special orders, and sometimes I just make a whole bunch and sell them at Christmas time. And believe it or not, you might think $15 is a lot, but don't undervalue your time. They are worth $15, and trust me, they sell. Very few people have questioned the $15. Most of the time, I tell them, well, I'm not for everybody. So there you go. Okay. Today, I am using a magnetic mighty hoop. This is from Mary Easley's shop. I usually order from her. I call her direct. But I will try and find a link to her shop, and she can get you any arm. She sells a couple different brands of machines, but she can get you any arm, and it's delivered pretty quickly. You can honestly just use your 4x4 Brother machine. You know that one that you got 15 years ago that you've used 7 times? Use it. You don't have to have a big fancy machine to make toilet paper. You need a little machine that does at least a 4x4 zone, because I want to say this design is just under 4x4. I am going to be using my Brother 1055X. This came from Grapevine Sewing World in Grapevine, Texas. Randy and Stacy are amazing, and anytime I need extra education on it, they are there to give it to me. But honestly, you don't have to have a fancy machine. You can have a Brother 4x4. You can have a little Janome. You know, you can have anything and do this design. As long as you have an embroidery machine that can read the file, you can do it. You can do this. Okay. In my machine, I have Glide and Madeira and Isocord thread. It's just kind of the hodgepodge of whatever I have. I don't use just one brand of thread. I use candle thread. I use Glide thread. I have some that dealers have given me. I have some that vendors have given me. So I use just about anything. You know, it's thread. Use a poly thread. You're good to go. Okay, to get this started, you're gonna first start the toilet paper. Tear off the ugly part that's stuck together. And then I'm gonna roll off a pretty good amount, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a folded series pile very neatly on top of one another, just to give it a little darkness behind. Okay, so that was a pretty long thread. I did 1, 2, 3 folds over. You can, if you are using your little Brother machine, you can line it up with your grid if you want to. My machine has a camera. So what I did was I printed it out with the Snow Person in my Embrilliance software, which I guess I've closed it out. Embrilliance software, if you have a Brother machine that reads the Snow Person, you can actually print the Snow Person so that you do not have to run out of your stickers that come from the dealer. But you can order more of these if you need to, but I just have this on hand. So the first thing I do is I lay that on top of my hooped stabilizer. I do not hoop the toilet paper itself. I just lay it on top. I float it is the term. Then I take my design. I kind of place it where I want it. And then I hoop it up. But first, I have to change my hoop size. Okay, so I'm adjusting the arm real quick on my machine because I forgot to do that before we started. If you are using a multi-needle like this, some people have reported it keeps telling you to change your size of hoop. A lot of times that is because you don't have these two screws down hard enough. So make sure they are in there very firm. And click OK, and it should read it. Okay, so I am going to put my hoop in. I do have white bobbin thread in there. You can use anything. I mean, if you have a roll of whatever, put it in there. It's toilet paper. Who cares? Okay, and got my hoop in there. Gonna make sure my toilet paper is neatly to the side before it reads the camera. I'm gonna make sure I'm somewhat straight. You can tape this down to your stabilizer if you want to before you put it in. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know, it just depends on, you know, how high maintenance I'm being for myself today. Okay, and I'm gonna get it in there straight-ish. Some designs it's gonna matter, some designs it's not gonna matter. You'll be able to see that. This one, it doesn't really matter if it's completely straight. I am going to hit my snowman button so that it will read the snowman and put it exactly where I want it. And that is what it is doing now. This is what I love about this machine. I never have to hoop it completely straight. I can just let it read that snowman or snow person. And that is why I let Randy talk me into this machine. Best decision I made in a long time. Besides marrying my husband. Okay. This, as you can tell, he's the cameraman. This is your piece of wash away. If you just have a scrap of wash away, use your scrap of wash away. Okay? Just put it in there. This is just to make it look a little smoother and to give it a little more stability. When you start stitching, if you find that it's not picking up your bobbin thread, that's when you'll want to take your extra little scrap of stabilizer. We all have that pile of scrap of stabilizer, and just slide her in behind. And just to be prophylactic, I'm just going to start that way. Okay? All right. I have already set my colors in my machine. If you have a single needle, you'll just want to have them laid out so that you can change them as you go along. I'm going to hit embroidery, and I'm going to let her rip. And you see how it's getting started really, really nice there. And I have it set to slow. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. On my machine can, it says you can mark it to 1,000 stitches per minute. It's up to you if you want to stitch it fast or slow. Sometimes I find if I'm having trouble, I will slow down the stitching. If it's going really good like this, I'm going to keep it going at 1,000 and just let her rip and just kind of watch her, just in case you have trouble and need to, you know, add some more stabilizer or whatever. And I will not bore you with stitching the entire thing, but I know some people love to see that machine stitch, and so I thought I will film a little bit and fast forward through the rest. that's it for the stitching. Okay, so the design is all done now. Here's how we're gonna finish it off. I'm gonna hold it in the hoop. I'm gonna put my hand down here, and I'm just gonna kind of tear away the little bit of excess of the wash away. But for the most part, I'm leaving it there. Nobody's gonna know, trust me, trust me. All right, then I will carefully fold it in. Remove it from the hoop. If you have a regular hoop, you know, just remove it from your regular hoop. Okay. And then I am going to very, very carefully use a ruler. You could use any ruler. These are Quilter Select from quilterselect.com. I'm pretty sure I probably got them from one of my local dealers or a vendor show. I am going to use a rotary cutter. You could use a pair of scissors, doesn't really matter. But I'm doing this to protect the toilet paper from being cut, okay? And I'm just going in here. I'm just cutting her away a little bit at a time. First one side, then the other side, okay? All right, okay. And I'm just kind of gonna pick up under the edge and slide my ruler under there carefully so I get close and get her in there. And this last side. Sometimes you gotta trim it a little. Okay, so that's all trash now. Or you can save it for scrappage. Okay. And we all know, if you've got something not coming out right and you need to float a little piece, save your scrap. Okay, look, it's just about done. Now, some people at this point have looked at me and said, Mandy, why don't you stitch that on felt? Because it would be reusable on the toilet paper roll. And I'm like, why does anybody need to reuse a toilet paper roll? Just stitch it on this. Save yourself the time, the energy. Just do this, okay? All right, I have Scotch brand double stick tape. I do not use the generic. This stuff works great. Is it gonna stick for permanent? No, this is for putting it all together, okay? You're gonna line her up, lining her up, okay? This is just so you can get it in the bag nice, okay? All right, then I'm gonna use a little bit of this, about, I don't know, it's about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches. I'm gonna stick it on there, line her up, okay? And then I'm gonna roll it around. See, like I told you, it doesn't stick. It's just to help you line it up, okay? I'm gonna trim some excess there. All right, I am lining her up. Just like so. Beautiful. You're gonna take your storage bag. This is bread bag, storage bag with ties, whatever, came from the grocery store in the baggie section. It's not the Ziploc kind. It's super thin. I'm gonna set it in there so that the corners go out like that. I'm tucking in the top. I am using the clear Scotch tape. You could use any brand. I do not use the satin Scotch tape because it shows. The super duper clear shiny stuff tends to not show. You could stick a bow on top of that if you want, but this is how I sell them. Just plain without a bow, wrapped up snug. See, it's perfect. I charge $15 for this. All right, follow me for more tutorials.